Today, sadly, I wanted to talk about the death of Stephen Twitch Boss, the DJ who was on the Ellen show, who shot himself to death today at the age of 40. And I'm very well qualified to be talking about this because I was in a similar position to him 4 months ago, and there, but for the grace of God, go I. I was lucky to get a voice from what I call my higher power, just stopped me. I've heard this voice twice in my life. First time was when I relapsed on prescription drugs and I was going to die. Second time was 4 months ago when I was about to do what Twitch did. He leaves behind a young family, and I feel like it's easy to say it's selfish, but I know that relentless, dark juggernaut of pain that is depression. It's relentless. It doesn't let up. And for me, I was like, everyone's better off without me pulling around this devil of just bringing everyone down, and devil of insane, relentless, every day's worse than the last, hopelessness, despair. I can't even describe it to do justice of that feeling. And I'm sure he felt people are better off without me, which isn't true. I can tell you that people aren't better off if you are considering. I guarantee you that's not the case. I just feel so lucky and so blessed that on top of that voice I had something tells me that he didn't tell anyone what was happening in his head and the depths he was going to, because depression wants us alone and then it wants to kill us. That's the fact. It wants to isolate us, doesn't want us talking to anyone, and then it's like, kill yourself. The world would be better off without you. I know it so well. And that's he went with it. I didn't go with it because I got help. I'm so lucky. So this thing I've worked out that I'm going to tell you about in January I know it's working because when I started it gradually lifted this pain, and the more I've been doing it, the more it's just relieved, to the point of I can see how much I was doing this work to how much the depression went away. And it's been developed along with my therapist that I was working with, teaching me about EMDR, and that being linked to spiritual work that I do with yoga and meditation around binaural beats, which is the same thing, which I don't think anyone has put this together yet. So I've researched the frequency for antidepressant, the frequency of the left and right, and a huge part of it is something I'm going to tell you about in this book, which I've been doing. So it's a 3-part thing. And I don't want to go into it now because this isn't about that. And also I haven't worked out how to completely explain what's been working so incredibly well for all my mental health stuff. It's just another level. It's taking all meditation and stuff to another level. It's because you're surrounding yourself with sensory input from all different places. Sight, brain, sound. Anyway, that's coming. That's January 13th when I've worked out exactly what I want to say and how I want to put it. But yeah, it's very sad when this happens. It's always sad. I know where he got to. I was there. Funnily enough, it didn't happen far from here. That's the other thing that's weird about it. But, he was 40, and the show just got cancelled that was on for 14 seasons. He was, which is last 20 years, is it? So he had that career, and that was part of his personality and part of his identity, if he was anything like me. And then it stops, exactly like what happened to me. And you're like, I can't start again at 40. I can't start again. I can't do it again. I was 47. I was like, what can I do? I can't do something else. That's my life. That's my life there, and it's gone. What do I'm done. That feeling's big with me when I was getting depressed. It's like, I don't know what to do. And my life and my self-worth is so tied up with what I do, and that's 100% in a male's limbic system. It's from when we were, from evolutionary day one. A man has got self-esteem from action, hunter-gathering. We're wired that way. Males are wired that way. And I used to worry about offending people, but with this whole thing next year, I can't worry about that, because it's literally the difference of offending someone or someone killing themselves because they don't know this information. I'm going to take the chance of offending this person with, perhaps I'm not using the right terminology, but male brains are wired to get self-esteem from hunter-gathering, from providing, and the new version of that is our career. And I think saying, don't derive your self-esteem from your work, it's all very well to say it, but it's similar to saying to a mother, don't be maternal. Yeah, there are some mothers who are not maternal, but it's a very small percentage, and there's a very small percentage of guys that don't derive their self-worth from what they do, like the hunter-gathering aspect. I know I do massively, and I've tried to get rid of it, and it's got less, but and also if you tie it completely, if it's 100% tied up in what you do, then if you'd have a bad day at work, your self-esteem goes down, and that's brutal. And I'm sure if you're depressive and you're sort of throwing yourself around emotionally like that, that's a recipe for disaster. But I don't quite know how you're supposed to, as a man, change that. I know I've managed to lessen it, also through what I've been doing with this technique stuff. But that's been a difference. But starting again at 40 must have been daunting for him. Starting again at 47 was incredibly daunting for me. I can't do anything else. What am I going to do? But look, if you're struggling, if you're older and you want to end it because your career's finished, I didn't have this channel. I didn't have you amazing guys. I had no idea I was going to end up talking about this stuff. I had no idea it was going to wind into my music and wind into this new thing I've been kind of inventing. I had no idea. And if I was trying to sit there and go, what am I going to do? I never would have come up with this. So I just let God, and this fell into my lap. And I think everyone's on this earth for a reason. Just because you feel like, if I define myself by, my comedy thing with Laura's gone, then I'm done. This what I do now and talk to you guys and you beautiful people wouldn't be here. So you're not the boss of deciding what you're put on this earth for, I don't believe. I think it comes from a higher power. So I did want to touch on that because I feel like that. I just instinctively feel like that's connected. The show finishing, he's 40. His sense of identity's gone. He has to start again, which I know I've experienced. It's just very sad, and I just wish he'd had an intervention of some kind. My intervention was spiritual intervention, I feel like, and also, of course, telling Laura. But I've learned since this that if you're having feelings of depression, it's not the best idea to talk to just your partner. In some cases, it's not the best to talk to your partner because it's a burden. If someone thinks that you're going to top yourself and you're married to them and they're looking after the kids, it's a huge burden. I wish I'd spoken to my male contemporaries and the male guys I go into group with, or Dr. Amen. So I just feel like he didn't talk to anyone. This is all speculation, because I'm kind of probably projecting, because I was in that spot so recently. And I feel so blessed, and I just want to pass on that there's hope. It feels hopeless, but there is hope. You can start again. I'm proof of that. I feel less depressed than I've ever felt, and it's because of work I've been doing, because I didn't go through with it. And hopefully this is going to help other people. So if you're struggling, like I always say, please talk to someone. It's very important. And you're not alone, and it does get better. It may not feel like it at the time, but trust me, it does get better. Always. It always gets better. So, This wasn't the video I intended to make today, but I was inundated with people asking me to speak on it. So I felt like I had to do something. So yeah, love and just love goes out to that family. I mean, devastating. Devastating. Anyway, I love you guys. Let's come back tomorrow and talk about something.